So, in my past, there was this guy, and he was like a boyfriend. He was Ukrainian, and he was always in between my other boyfriends. And um, when I first ran away, I was in junior high, and I was walking with this guy. His name was Kerry. He was my new boyfriend, and he was like helping me out because I ran away, and his mom was a landlord. And then he was like, you can stay in the apartment where we live. You can stay up on the top floor in the stairwell. So I was like, okay. So we were walking to his apartment, and we walked by this house, and I noticed this blonde white guy standing in the living room window, just watching us walk. And then years later, when I was at the women's shelter, he was across the street at the men's shelter, and he did the whole romance thing. He wrote me a poem and everything, and then we became boyfriend and girlfriend, and he was no good though. He was no good for my health. And yeah, he fucked me over. He actually, and later on in life, he really fucked all my kids up with one phone call. And then all my friends and my parents even loved him after he fucked me up. They had him over for supper, and my best friend from junior high was getting drugs because she's a fucking druggie. She still is to this day. Something's wrong with her foot. She said she stepped on a toy and she broke all the bones in her foot, and it's like, that's karma. Like, she said she stepped on a dog toy and broke the bones in her foot. But before that, she was bragging she lived in Red Deer, and she used to sell crack. And she was bragging about the crack. And then recently, she was bragging if she can get any drug. She was bragging on Facebook because she friended me on Facebook. I'm bragging about all the drugs. And like, I don't care about drugs. I really don't. And like, that would only be appealing to someone like my ex, my spouse, who was into drugs, but doing drugs without me. He was doing them without me because he was a truck driver, and he was a piece of shit, actually. And anyway, this guy Dean, he was selling meth back before I met Jay, my spouse. Jay actually bought meth off of him, and then when we met, he was like, yeah, we got meth off this guy. And I was like, that was my ex. And yeah, it's funny how everything comes together after you think about everything. But anyway, back to the guy staring at me and my new boyfriend in junior high, who was so sweet. He walked a mile to my house. He didn't take a bus like in junior high. I lived in Mill Woods, the south part of Edmonton, and he lived in Capilano, and he walked all the way to my house. Like, he was so sweet. Anyway, but yeah, that guy staring in the window was Dean, the meth dealer who sold my spouse meth, and he still sells meth. I seen him like in 2019, or was it 2020? The next year, I don't know. Like, Jay went crazy. Like, it was like he was possessed, and I was just like, I've had enough. I'm gonna go to the women's shelter. Before I did, though, Dean friended me on Facebook, and we met. And Jay used to work at Manpower before we had our first child together. We lived in the Brian Block on Jasper Ave, and Manpower was just like 2 blocks up. And there was this girl who worked there. Her name was Jen. No, she worked at the pub nearby. And like, when I took off to the women's shelter, I showed Jen at the pub, and Dean was there because he messaged to meet me, and I met him there. And then I showed a picture of me and Jay together. That one that I posted in my what do you call it, community. And she's like, that's not the Jay I know. So that was weird. Anyway, there's so many weird coincidences that I'm piecing together, and I don't know, man. There's weird shit happening in my life, and
Okay, this guy's my food, and then after this, it'll be the whiskey.
okay.